Hello, everyone. My name is Sara Papantonio. I'm with Levin Papantonio Rafferty law firm, and today I'm joined by Chelsie Green, who is an attorney with our law firm as well. What we're going to be talking to you about today is one of the newest cases that we're litigating, and that is the hair relaxer case. Essentially, what we have is thousands of women who are developing uterine cancers and endometrial cancers. They're losing their ability to bear children based on exposure to a toxic product. We are litigating those cases, and our goal here today is just to talk about the general update of the litigation and what your options are if you have been exposed to these clients. So Chelsie, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Sarah.
Why don't you give us a 10-second overview of this case? What is it?
Absolutely. So last October in 2022, scientific study was released linking the use of hair relaxers or frequent use of hair relaxers to uterine cancer. And what we know is, never users had a significantly less chance of developing uterine cancer up into the age of 70. But frequent users of hair relaxers, which was defined as 4 or more uses in a 12-month period, doubled the risk of developing uterine cancer.
Okay, that's significant. And I want to break this down so we really understand it at a granular level.
Absolutely.
So the first thing you said is that in, I think, October of 2022, you had a study that came out. Tell us about this study.
Yes. So Dr. Chan and associates studied the use of hair relaxers over a 11 to 10 year period in which they took a group of women who used hair relaxers, who hadn't used hair relaxers. It was a very diverse group of women. And what they found was premenopausal women were developing uterine cancer at an alarming rate.
Okay. And so for a blonde girl like me with stick straight hair, explain to me what a hair relaxer is. Why would a woman need to use that?
Absolutely. So hair relaxers are, hundreds and hundreds of years old. It's very prevalent in the Black and brown communities. And really what stemmed the use of hair relaxers goes all the way back to slavery. Really, when Black women wanted to be deemed acceptable in society and be able to get jobs post-slavery, they would go to extreme lengths to straighten their hair. And then in about 1900s, Garrett Morgan came across, a group of chemicals. He actually stumbled across these chemicals. It wasn't intentional, but just discovered that this combination could straighten Black women's hair and potentially alleviate their concerns of being accepted in society.
Right. So essentially what we see is we have a current society, which I think we're moving into a place where we are accepting people's natural hair.
Absolutely.
And that is such a wonderful thing. But in the last 3 decades, Black women have been going through huge efforts to make their hair what society deems presentable.
Absolutely.
So they're using these hair relaxers, right?
Yes.
And so what is the chemical product that is causing the cancer in these hair relaxers?
So there's a number of chemicals in the hair relaxer, and we just believe the combination of all of them, it's what's really causing issues. But what we're really taking concern with is the fact that defendants are not required to list out the chemicals in what is labeled as fragrances in these chemical hair relaxers. So we really, really are looking into that to determine what the chemical composition is. A hair relaxer is literally just a cream or lotion that's applied to your scalp and knocks out the protein structure to straighten your hair. So it's the combination of the chemicals that are really harming women and their reproductive systems.
And when we're talking about chemicals, we're not talking about walk in the park chemicals. We are talking about formaldehydes, phthalates. I mean, these have been known human carcinogens for decades.
Years, yes.
And what you're saying is they're putting it into the fragrance. I really want people to understand this issue because it infuriates me.
Absolutely.
Essentially, these companies, if you look at your shampoos, your hair relaxers, your beauty products, what you'll see at the very last ingredient is fragrance. And fragrance has been deemed to be proprietary information. Yes. And what that means is that the company does not have to release what the ingredients are. But what ingredients do we typically see in fragrances? For instance, in this hair relaxer.
So exactly what you stated already, Sarah, the phthalates, the different forms of the phthalates, DHP, and also formaldehyde releasing agents. While some of the companies may say that these hair relaxers no longer contain lye, we know that some of them still do. And we know that lye contains carcinogenic properties. So those are, really harsh chemicals that are still being used in these products today.
Okay, and that's what I want to break down. I want to break down, what did these companies know? First, who are the companies? What are the products?
Absolutely. So L'Oreal USA is in L'Oreal International SA is a French-based company, but L'Oreal is the largest cosmetic company in the world today. We know that they have a huge market share, and they're going to be one of our main defendants in this litigation. But other than L'Oreal, you have Strength of Nature, you have other international companies, DeBar International, and we all know Revlon is in bankruptcy, but we're also working to protect our clients who have claims against Revlon. But those are some of your major manufacturers.
Yeah, and Chelsie, tale as old as time, what we see is you have these massive companies like L'Oreal who have just a total control over the industry.
Yes.
And what we learn and what we'll continue to see as the documents in this case come out is the knowledge, right? So what do we know now that L'Oreal knew before the public became aware of this issue?
Absolutely. So at least dating back to 2015, we know that these manufacturers began testing on their products and knew that they had carcinogenic properties, and they still failed to remove the products from the shelves or warn the ultimate end users of the risk in using these products. So it dates back ages, but at least we know up until 2015, they had knowledge that these chemicals were harmful, and they should have notified the consumers.
Right. So 8 years ago, you have a company like L'Oreal becoming aware of this problem, and it is still on the market today. Is that fair?
Absolutely.
And after October of 2022, when we had scientific evidence showing the increased risk of these cancers, did a company like L'Oreal take this product off the market?
Actually, they did. They did take some of not all of them, but they did take some of the hair relaxers off the shelves and kind of did a rebrand and relaunch.
Right. But the point is, it takes incredible efforts. It takes the threat of thousands of lawsuits for these companies to act right.
Exactly. And that's why we are now centralized in the Northern District of Illinois, where hair relaxer litigation will hopefully be litigated to an efficient manner and be able to receive justice for our clients.
Yeah, so let's talk about that litigation, because for most people who use this product, they might not have ever been exposed to a litigation of this kind. So what we call this type of lawsuit is a mass tort lawsuit. Can you walk us through that?
Yes, so we will have thousands of claimants across the country. All of those cases will now be consolidated into the Northern District, where lawyers across the country will work together to officiate this litigation, along with the Honorable Mary Rowland.
Okay. And when we talk about everything being consolidated, I feel like for the average person, when they hear mass tort, they kind of think class action. They think we're this faceless group of individuals and the lawyer's just litigating for an easy dollar. That's not the case here, and tell us why.
Absolutely. So mass torts is very different from class actions. We will not have, one person representing the group of litigants. Each personal injury claimant will have their case litigated completely. And, class actions are a little different, but we like to tell our clients that we will work on your case individually and at a group level.
Absolutely. And that's a really important thing to know here is the reason that we consolidate cases like this is because we are going up against giants. L'Oreal is an absolute giant in the industry.
Absolutely.
And they've got hundreds of high dollar lawyers that they pay to try to intimidate and throw out the individual's cases. So we try each one of these cases individually, but we use group efforts to do so.
Absolutely.
And so I want to talk about the group that we have here, the group that's been appointed to leadership, because it is truly an incredible one. And these defense attorneys are not going to know what's coming for them.
Absolutely. So our shareholder, Brian Barr, has been appointed to the Plaintiffs' Executive Committee. We have of counsel also appointed to the Executive Committee. And we hope to have a Leadership Development Committee as well in the MDL to help bring up young lawyers.
Yeah, which Chelsie, we hope that she will be on that leadership committee. I think you will.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, our firm alone has 4 individuals working on this case. And then for those of you out there, just know the leadership, the co-leads on this case are truly incredible lawyers. And
Absolutely.
these defendants have got to be shaken in their shoes. So the point of this to say is the defendants don't really know what's coming for them. And the momentum that this litigation has behind them and the passion that we have for the clients is tremendous. And we hope for a really good result.
Absolutely. We have plaintiff lawyers across the country working together on this to bring the defendants down, to let them know that they may be a giant, but we plan to be even bigger.
So tell me, for those people who are watching or listening and wondering if they have options here, what kind of cases are we bringing? What's the criteria?
Absolutely. So basically, from the study, we have learned that if you've used hair relaxers 4 or more times within the 12-month period and have gone on to develop uterine cancer, ovarian cancer, or endometrial cancer, you may well have a claim for compensation in this case.
Okay. And in order to bring that action, what are the next steps?
So next steps, contact us. Let us help you receive justice. Give us a call. We're happy to help.
And I think what a lot of people will wonder too, and frankly, it's the tough part about this litigation, is you have women who have been using this product for years and years and years, and generally right now they're healthy. What is your advice to people who are ultimately worried about their health here, but might not have an injury currently?
Absolutely. Please continue to seek medical advice from your medical providers. But if you feel like you have a claim, just reach out. We'd be happy to talk with you through any possible claim that you may have in the future.
And I think a takeaway here as just general members of the public is the importance of taking control of your own health. And it's the importance of doing your research on products, because what we have seen is that companies like L'Oreal are not going to take dangerous products off the market until they are forced to, right? So if they had done this 8 years ago, you would have had 8 years of women who are ultimately protected from this danger. But since they didn't do that, since it took the trial lawyer, it took law firms like ours to start filing these lawsuits, that's a lot of people who are still exposed.
Exactly.
So take control of your health. Make sure you are an informed user, an informed consumer, and give us a call if you have any questions, concerns. If you just want to talk, Chelsea's here to talk with you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks.